should not be working like this. I work my ass off and I can't even fucking pay bills, bro. And they always say don't compare yourself to others, but I see people going to Coachella and fucking like buying all types of shit, just pointless fuck you money, and I'm over here can't even fucking pay my fucking rent, bro. Why is gas $5 a gallon? And like, why do I have to pay rent? And why is rent so high? And why do I have to drive my car and get the gas that I have to get to go to the job that I have to pay for rent? Why do I have to do all of that stuff? And why are you making it so fucking expensive to do it? I don't even want to get out and pump my gas. It feels like getting out and just knowing someone's gonna fucking stab you. Why would you get out? This is beginning. This is the beginning of life. What am I supposed to do forever? I have to get a fucking horse.
I wonder what grade you would give
A+.
your economy.
What grade would you give the economy right now?
Oh, I would give it a D.
A+.
Yeah, A++++++.
I think he's very out of touch.
We have record high levels of young people that are unemployed.
And I have not been able to find work since I left the military in 2022.
Being paid very low wages and can't afford life.
Katia's rent for this 300 square foot apartment is going to jump from $670 a month to just over $1,000. She says her paycheck won't cover it.
I would consider living in my car.
46% of Americans say the cost of living in the U.S. is the worst they can ever remember.
37% of people who voted for Trump in 2024 share that view.
I had to find a pantry because, you know, food is coming up so expensive, and I got a family to take care of, man. There's too many bills coming in.
Americans feel like prices are rising in each and every single part of their lives.
Medication costs are going up as well.
We're getting prices down for this country.
The kids caught the flu and we had to share medication because the Tamiflu was so expensive, I couldn't afford it.
The word affordability is a con job.
3/4 of Americans would scoff at that, and a majority of those polled worry it's only going to get worse.
This is my first time visiting a food bank in my entire life.
And was laid off earlier this year. Without the federal help, she says her premiums would jump to over $700 a month.
It would be more than my mortgage payment.
That takes multiple incomes to survive in this economy.
I just left work and now I am going to go door dashing.
I think that people across this country are really hungry for public servants who are laser focused on making life affordable for everyone.
Hi guys, I'm really stressed today. I just went to the grocery store, bought 10 items, and it was $80 freaking already. I literally have $10 left on my account. The fuck? So a little backstory. I got laid off from my job a month ago. And I've been applying for jobs months before I got laid off. Sent out hundreds of resumes already. Applied to hundreds of jobs on the internet, remote and on-site. Tailored my resume to every position that I applied using ChatGPT. Went to only a few interviews. And still nothing. Like, what the fuck is going on with America right now? Like, it's so freaking hard to live here. Like, I'm gonna stay positive. I'm gonna keep applying for jobs. I'm gonna keep showing up. But man, my bills are not going to wait.
Something is breaking in America, folks, and it's not subtle anymore. Groceries are up 25% since 2020. Housing up 45%. Rent declared unaffordable in 98% of U.S. counties. People aren't downsizing, they're being priced out of existence. Right now, over 1.9 million Americans live in vehicles. That number has tripled since 2018, and it's climbing fast. Not because people want adventure, but because the system stopped working for them. Everyone feels it. The pressure, the squeeze, the quiet collapse in slow motion. But here's the part they don't want to talk about. Nomad life is no longer an alternative lifestyle. It's becoming a survival strategy and a movement. Every single day, thousands more join the road. Not homeless, systemless, not lost, unplugged. If you feel like society is cracking, you're not alone. This is the transition era, and you are watching a new America being built on wheels.
Hey, we live in central Illinois. Our electric rates just went up 50%. My nephew has a ranch home that's probably 1,200 square feet, and his bill went from $260 to $560 in the last month. No difference in usage. The company just increased their rates 50%. So I'm curious if you have a similar home in a surrounding state, what you pay.
Hey, so I work in the operating room, and I just worked a 12-hour shift in the operating room, and I cannot afford my rent. I can't afford my rent. I can't afford gas. I can't afford groceries. I can't afford any of my endless other bills that I am responsible for because I am an adult. After working a 12-hour shift in the operating room. So you know what I have to do? I have to DoorDash, and it's 12:30 at night. After I've been on my feet in the operating room for 12 hours all day. I'm now out DoorDash driving.
There are some concerning realities about life in America right now. Number one, the younger generations, they are feeling more hopeless about homeownership and retirement. Corporate greed and rising costs have people feeling trapped financially. And for the first time in a long time, parents generally worry that their children are going to struggle more than they did. For many years, people believed that in this country, if you did all the right things, that you could make a life for yourself and a future for yourself. And that hope, that dream is disappearing for so many people right now because they're seeing that even though they're doing everything they need to do, that's becoming more and more out of reach.
In case you were curious what the housing market is like right now, my husband and I found a house that we absolutely loved, kind of a dream for us, on Thursday. We went and looked at it on Thursday. Put in an offer 10 grand over asking on Thursday. They had multiple offers already on Thursday. They decided, because they knew a bunch of people were going to be interested, to wait until Sunday, today, to do best and final offer, which means we had to put in our absolute best and final offer. We went up to 30 grand over asking, and we offered a $20,000 appraisal gap, which is if the house gets appraised for less than what you offered, you have to cover that gap with cash at the closing table. So we offered that. We also, in our offer, said that we're going to do inspections, but we're not going to ask them for any concessions or repairs. So if anything came back bad, they didn't have to fix it. Also, 3-week close. We didn't even stand a chance. We lost. They had 9 offers. 9 offers. Somebody offered, I think, 40 or 50 grand over asking with a full appraisal gap, which means 40 or 50 grand. Like, I just actually want to die because now I'm depressed, and it was my dream house. And now someone else gets to have my dream house because I'm too poor. I love my life.
What's the cost of a 1-bedroom where you live? Because if you're like the residents of Atlanta, Georgia, it's becoming increasingly unaffordable. I made a previous video about this where the average rent in Atlanta is $963. I should have clarified that's per person. And so when you take 2 people needing to have roommates now, the age group of 45 to 64 is increasing at a rapid rate over the last 20 years. They're basically bringing to the table about $810 on average. That buys them a 1-bedroom apartment for $1,600 for 2 people. So if you're like the people of Atlanta, it is becoming absolutely unaffordable, unobtainable to even rent, let alone dreaming about buying a house.
I need to know the secret. Where y'all getting y'all money from? Because there's no way. There's no way that everybody's out here struggling, yet everybody has money. Okay, I'm seeing stuff, people out here flaunting what they got, summertime goals, going on vacations, all that. Where y'all getting this bread from? And don't tell me it's a credit card, because I don't believe that. Somebody give me the real source of where y'all getting this money from.
15-ish years ago, I was able to afford a one.
How are people affording life right now? How are people tackling this cost of living
on the average American salary. I just watched a TikTok of a teacher who makes a teacher's salary. I don't know what state she's in, so I don't know how much she makes, but her 1-bedroom apartment is $2,000. And when she spends $2,000 on that 1-bedroom apartment, it doesn't even come with a washer and dryer. So she has to go pay an additional $2 every time she wants to use their washer and dryer. Okay, like, how does that leave her any extra money to spend? And then she said she had a $400 car payment, which some people were bashing her on that. But in today's economy with interest rates, that's really not that bad. And I'm sure she needs a dependable car. So you talk about teacher's salary, $2,000 in rent, $400 car payment, you got insurance, you got groceries, electricity. Like, I don't understand how people are affording life right now, and it really makes me sad for some people. You have people who are like her. She's single, she has her own salary, or families where it just works out best for them for the mother to stay home. And if the father is just making an average American salary, how are they affording life without going in a bunch of debt? This lady who's a teacher started crying because she said she realizes on her salary and where she lives, she will actually end up in more debt. Then, like, she will just continue to accrue more debt and more debt and more debt because her salary is not matching the cost of living. And what's sad is I've seen people be like, just spend less. Listen, guys, the cost of living is rising and our salaries are stagnant, okay? So there's not just spend less. That's not the problem here. The problem is the cost of living is outrageous, and minimum wage in some states is still $7.25. Teachers in some states are still paid a ridiculously low salary, even though their job is super important. I don't know what we can do about this, but I'm just going on a rant because it really, really pisses me off.
Here's something I've started to notice, and I wish I hadn't. Hunger. Not famine, not the kind that happens far away in somebody else's moral geography, but the local, ordinary kind. The Canadian kind. People my age, people with degrees and jobs and decent grammar, are telling me they're skipping meals. Not for fitness, not for faith, for money. They can't afford to eat. I can't either some days. The fridge is an echo chamber. You learn to time your hunger to your bank balance. I tell myself I'm intermittent fasting. Really, I'm just broke. I'm lucky in one sense. I have family who help, but even they are strained now. It's become a national sport, this private juggling of who helps whom survive another week. The rich are fine, of course. They're always fine. And the government seems content to treat our collective malnutrition as a kind of character-building exercise. Since COVID, we've all been living in the aftermath of the great economic adjustment. Prices have exploded like popcorn. Wages, like a sulky teenager, refuse to move. Jobs today pay roughly what they did when I finished university, except everything costs double. We've achieved a kind of anti-progress. The more you look, the less you have, and yet, from the marble lips of economists, we're told that to keep life affordable, pay must stay low. Affordable for whom exactly? Walk into a grocery store and you'll see what I mean. Every aisle is a battlefield. You do mental math over cans of beans. You make humiliating decisions in public to put back the bread or the butter. And every month, the price stickers advance like enemy troops. I'm old enough to remember when the price of a tomato wasn't a philosophical question. In Canada, we like to pretend we're immune to this kind of thing, that hunger is an American disease. But the numbers tell a different story. Food banks, Canada reports, usage has nearly doubled since 2019. More and more of the people lining up for those boxes of near-expired pasta are employed. They work full-time, pay taxes, and still can't afford dinner. That's not a recession, that's a system failure. Meanwhile, rent has become an extortion racket with a civic license. The first half of your paycheck goes to your landlord, the second to Hydro, and the remainder to the grocery store. Which takes it with a smirk, of course. Food or heat, that's the new binary. We used to laugh at Victorian novels where the heroine fainted from hunger. Now we just scroll past TikToks of people doing the same thing in Scarborough. South of the border, the pattern repeats with American gusto. During COVID, emergency aid briefly lowered hunger levels to record lows. It was proof that government intervention, for once, worked. And then, as soon as the data looked too good, they stopped doing it. Hunger came roaring back. The logic was classic neoliberalism. The market will sort it out. The market, of course, has no stomach. It digests people just fine. The orthodoxy of the last 40 years, deregulate, privatize, pray, has turned hunger into a management problem. Food is treated like a consumer good, wages like a suggestion, and poverty like a personal failure. Charity picks up the scraps. Food banks were meant to be temporary. They become permanent architecture, monuments to a broken economy. The irony is obscene. In the richest nations on earth, we built a parallel welfare state out of tin cans and volunteer hours. I don't believe lobbying will fix this. The political class is serenely insulated from the problem. Their grocery bills are reimbursed, their meals expensed. They'll tell you they're monitoring the situation, as though hunger were a weather pattern. What are we to do? March on Loblaws? The truth is, no one's coming to save us, so we'll have to feed ourselves, won't we? Literally. That might mean neighborhood food co-ops run by the people who buy from them, selling at cost and refusing to play capitalism's little pricing games. Or public kitchens. 1 free meal a day, no paperwork, no shame. The infrastructure is already there, schools, churches, community halls. It would cost less than 1 fighter jet. Or maybe we need a job guarantee that includes growing and cooking food. Pay people to feed people. The economics of it are embarrassingly obvious. I've seen small rebellions that work. In one apartment block I know, 10 tenants pool their grocery money and buy staples in bulk. Rice, beans, lentils. Socialism in a tote bag. It's not glamorous, but it's proof that cooperation still exists beneath the capitalist frost. These acts won't topple the system, but they puncture it, letting a little air back into the room. The phrase food insecurity is bureaucratic cowardice. It means hunger, and hunger is degrading. It turns you into a creature of calculation, timing your next meal like a junkie waiting for a fix. It makes you stupid, fogged, ashamed. And it shouldn't exist here, not in a country that can build condos for ghosts and pipelines to nowhere. This isn't just an economic crisis, it's a moral one. We've mistaken efficiency for virtue. We built an economy that treats survival as a luxury item, and we're supposed to call it progress. But a society that can't feed its workers isn't rich. It's decadent. I don't want a handout. I want a world that adds up, where labor equals livelihood, where you don't have to turn hunger into a personality trait. Maybe the answer isn't waiting for policy, but changing what we value. Cooperation over profit, sustenance over speculation. For now, I keep writing, keep thinking, and yes, sometimes keep skipping dinner. It's hard to concentrate on solutions when your stomach's growling, but perhaps that sound is also a kind of protest. The body reminding the system that it still exists.
What I'm about to say is probably going to make you...
Do y'all know that the average American doesn't have any money left over, if but maybe $200 or $300 left after they get paid every 2 weeks or every month? Did y'all know that? I'm sorry, but that I literally feel like it drive me to voluntary homelessness. I would volunteer to be homeless. There's no way they'd have me out here working for anybody, and I can't live life after I pay bills. Y'all can have these bills back. Take the car, take the crib. You can have it. Listen, I'm going to be homeless on the streets before I dare. Because, see, the way I'm set up, my Father which art in heaven would never have that be my portion. That's not my portion. There's no way that paying bills and not having any money left over to really exist, that's not my portion. That's not my portion. And I feel like if that doesn't motivate you and inspire you to get out here and go make some money, make more money. See, the problem with us nowadays is not that we don't know how to make money. It's just that we need to make more money. Find ways to make more money. Stop making excuses. You need to be trying to be the president of the United States before you stop trying to find a new job. Listen, if you got to switch jobs every single 2 weeks, then that's what you got to do. May the best salary win. Thank you.
For some Americans, the election may be over, but the financial pressure is just getting started. Across the country, families are continuing to wrestle with rising grocery bills, expensive housing, higher insurance costs, and everyday challenge of stretching a paycheck. Some voters who supported President Donald Trump, regardless popularly called as MAGA, are expecting fasting economic relief, while others believe it will take time for any new policies to have an impact. Whatever the reason, many Americans who are MAGAs are asking the same question: when will life become more affordable again? The debate has quickly spread across social media, where people are sharing personal stories about cutting back on spending, working extra jobs, and making difficult financial decisions. These experiences have fueled a broader nation conversation about inflation, wages, and whether government policies can ease the burden on ordinary households. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think America will see meaningful improvement in the cost of living over the next few years? Or do you believe economic challenge will continue regardless of who is in office? Share your thoughts in the comment below and let's keep this discussion respectfully. If you enjoy thoughtful discussion on politics, economy, and the major stories shaping today's world, don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Hit that like button and share this video with friends and family. Every like, every comment, and every share help this channel grow and allow us to continue bringing you insightful analysis. Thank you. See you in the next one.